We found.
Looks like we're ready to go here on a Tuesday night. Another chance to talk with the head coach of the Glen Bobcats, Tommy Green. Coach, how are you this week?
How you doing, man? Live and breathing. I'm doing great. I hope you had a good weekend.
It was a good weekend. And we'll talk about some Bobcat football, shall we? First off, let's start with this. How has the week been for you after getting a chance to watch some film on Monday and then a little bit of practice today?
Yeah, the week has been going fantastic. I brought the guys in on Monday. We always do like a little mini meeting, and we just talked about some things we need to clean up. Then we just got right back to it. It's a weird day because in Forsyth County, it's teacher work days, so the kids aren't in the building. Yeah, so you gotta make sure they up early and moving and tell them, hey, we got practice today. Let's get it going. But today and yesterday was great. We had everybody here, and we got better. We got better is the most important thing, and I'm excited for this week's challenge.
Yeah. So with the no kids in school, did you guys practice earlier today? You said get them up early.
Nah, it's a teacher work day. So all of us educators, we're supposed to be in the building finalizing grades. Nice. Today we had a professional development. And so teachers, for the most part, we're everywhere in the county. And we're ready for the young kids to come on back tomorrow as we start the next quarter.
Oh, yeah. Well, congratulations on making it through quarter one.
We almost there, man. It's almost there. It's mid-October. I went into a store the other day ago. I seen some Halloween, Christmas decorations out.
Man.
It's about that time.
Halloween and Christmas already. We haven't even hit Halloween yet, like you were saying.
I'm going to tell you, man, hey, it's like soon as the 31st hit, man, all of a sudden everybody putting out their Christmas decorations and all that good stuff.
It is certainly a time. It is certainly a time. Let's talk some football. You guys are coming off the overtime loss, 21-20 against North Davidson. Just talk to me. What were your thoughts after that one?
Yeah, it's tough. The thing that I talked about on Monday was, in hindsight, for kids especially, the first thing they think about is, the game was won or lost on the last play or the last couple of series. But the fact of the matter is we had a bunch of opportunities throughout the game. So what I did was make sure they understood that, we got to capitalize when we get an opportunity. There was a lot of missed chances throughout the game. I showed them 5 to 6 plays that I felt like that was pivotal moments. And you can only grow from it. A loss is a learned lesson. And we're going to learn from that, the things that we know we need to capitalize off of, and we will. Lick your wounds, and we're starving to get back in the right column. And it's also important for them to understand that all their season aspirations and things they would like to accomplish is still in front of us. And so we got to take care of business. And that starts with this Friday senior night at the Water Tower. Yeah.
Let's talk about that game for a second. There's a lot of positives to take away from you guys. And let's start at the top. I was sitting next to Coach Rivas, who was next to me in the booth. And he turned to me at the end of the game after we went off air, and he was like, you guys had some 495 yards of total offense, and you held them to under 200. That right there is a win in itself. How does that stat make you feel?
It makes you feel great, but it does. But at the end of the day, we still and like I said, it was a lot of missed opportunities. I mean, we dropped like 2 or 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns that I'm sure that was touchdowns. We dropped 2 touchdowns like between first and second quarter. Mm-hmm. We just had a lot of missed opportunities, but they're still here. Our offense production being over 400 yards, that lets you know our offense is doing a lot of good things. But we had some penalties. I don't know how many sacks we had. So, but the fact of the matter is offensively, we're still doing what we need to do. And as far as total production, those yardage need to turn into points. And I made sure the kids understood. Like we had a big play on the first drive, Max. I don't know if you remember, but we got a good clean throw by Brady Robinson.
Yeah, it was the third down play, right?
It was a third down play, went right through the receiver hands, and he was walking in stride, and that was on the first drive. I'm not saying that killed momentum, but I think when you have those type of opportunities, you got to capitalize off of it. And so that's not just and again, that's why I want the kids to understand that's just one of the 6 plays that I kind of said, hey, on these particular plays, these are game-changing moments. Games are not won and lost due to one particular play. It's a series of things that take place in the game. And that's why I wanted the kids to understand, and they were fully aware and they understood. And so that's always a good thing. So I am proud of our offense production, but as I explained to him, we got to turn those things into points.
Yeah. Yeah. The scoreboard is obviously where the yards turn into what makes it important. But another thing that stuck out to me is you guys really never quit. I mean, that game nearly got out of hand in the fourth quarter, and then it was a one-play, 90-yard touchdown. We'll talk about that in a second, of course. But just talking about this team's resilience, I mean, week after week when I'm talking to you, it just seems like this is a team that has bought into that play for 4 quarters. They've come a really long way since week 1.
Yeah, because like you said, I mean, we were down 6-14. And then like it just seems like it was more than a 7-point type of game, just because we couldn't put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah.
And so from that aspect, it felt a little daunting. But our kids' resilience has been amazing. They understand it takes 4 quarters to win a ball game. And that's one thing that I was most proud of, that I did pat them on the back, for us to be able to climb back and fight back after all the mistakes that we actually made, and have a chance and the opportunity to take it into overtime.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, I was glad to be a part of it. Now I want to be on the right side of history, but it was just a great high school atmosphere with their homecoming, to be able to go in overtime after us being able to fight it back and have a chance to still win it in overtime. It meant everything to me. And so just kudos to our kids for never giving up and just understanding, moving forward, what we need to do to be successful.
Yeah. And let's talk about that homecoming crowd. I said it on air. That was one of the biggest high school crowds that I've ever seen. Was it in the heads of your players at all getting there when you saw everybody piling into the seats?
Because you and I talked about last week, North Davidson and as well as Oak Grove. This is that area of Wahlberg, Midway, Thomasville. They're gonna shut down the town, and everybody's gonna be there in the stands. That's your traditional high school football setting. So my kids understood right away the type of atmosphere that they were going to walk into, on top of it being homecoming. Right. So our kids understood right away. They weren't spooked at all by that. Not even spooked is a correct word. They wasn't shooken up by any means. It's just about us just being able to capitalize and execute what we need to do offensively and defensively and special teams.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, turning, like, we can sit here for hours and say till we're blue in the face, like, you got to turn those yards into points. But you said there were 6 plays that you look back at and say, if we had these, we would have turned that around. But how do you actually make that turn into action? What is your point of emphasis on turning that from hearsay into do?
Yeah, it just goes back to everybody doing their 111. Everyone's doing their jobs. Like, let's go ahead and just start by the last play. The last play that we called, on that particular play, we had 2 things that went wrong. For number 1, the snap was extremely high. Okay. And then number 2, we left a defensive end run scotch-free. That just can't happen. So it just goes back to everyone's doing their 111, which means everybody's doing their job. So it just goes back to let kids know football, basketball, these are the ultimate team games. And in order for you to be successful, everyone has to do their job. All it takes is for one person not to do their job, and the whole play is shot. Here's another example. I called a fake punt, and it was well executed.
Yeah.
However, it was one person that didn't make a block on the edge, and it was tackled for 1 yard short.
Right.
And the man that made the tackle was the gentleman that did not block on the edge. And so it just goes back to everybody has to do their 111. Everybody has to do their job in order for it to work. This is not like tennis. This is not like wrestling where it's just you on the mat or you on the court and you control your destiny. No, my destiny is in my brother's hands. In order for us to be successful, everybody has to understand they have to do their job. And so how do we correct that? It just goes back to making sure that you do your alignment and your assignment. How am I supposed to line up? And what is my assignment on this particular play? In order for this play to be successful, what do I need to do in order for us to be successful? You can't overcompensate. You can't help your partner out and then don't do your own homework, essentially. That's kind of like, I want to go help my baby sister do her homework, but hey, don't forget now, you also have homework. You can, so you got to take care of your own business first before you can help anyone else. And so when you tell the guys that and you correlate that with the plays that were big time plays that we could have turned the page and had a little more success, it clicks to them like, okay, I get it. I got to do my job. And they knew that, but it's just a big difference between if one person don't do their job, the whole play is shot.
Yeah, and let's talk about that fake punt for a second. I thought it was a
Yep.
great play call. It almost worked, like you said, just a yard
Yep.
short. Is that
Yep.
something you guys worked on at practice this week, or was
Something
it
we
something
work.
kind of drawn on?
Yes, sir. Nah, something that we work on. You just always looking for the perfect time to call these type of
Yeah.
plays. And
Yeah.
like I said, I thought Tyseer was about to hit his head on the goalpost. And then the gentleman, like I said, one of the gunners, one of the gunners, whitest guys, instead of blocking his guy, he was running down the field like it was a normal punt. Well, son, we called a fake punt. I need you to block your guy, and his guy ended up making a tackle. So again, it just goes back to everybody has to do their job. All it takes is for one person not to do their job, and the whole play is shot.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was a good call. Again, just 1 yard short, which was
1 yard short.
Unfortunate. Let's talk about that special teams for a little bit, because North Davidson, Connor Dunn was really good for them, and
that's probably the best kicker we've seen.
Yeah,
and I'm looking at the our stats in our conference. I think he probably going to be the best kicker that we see all year.
Yeah,
I know what you're about to go to, because that's another thing I talked to the offensive guys about. I felt like every drive we were starting inside of the 10.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Man, it's like, so, I mean, he done a fantastic job of kicking all night. And I'm just so glad I was kicking myself towards the end of the game. They had a opportunity to win it by 3, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
And then Garrett Wilson actually ended up coming through and blocking it.
Was it Garrett? Nice.
It was Garrett, yeah. But the point I'm making is he has a leg for that. And so he's a great kicker, and he did a fantastic job of keeping us all night inside of the 10. And, my returner said, well, Coach, I try to return it, but it's like it's in the air forever. I said, son, you still got to catch the ball. We can't let it roll inside of the 10.
Yeah.
But, the kid does a good job of kicking it, and the way it just spirals.
Yeah.
It's like it's in the air forever. That's just kudos to them and their kicker and their whole special team unit at North Davidson.
Yeah, and then just talk to me about what that does for your offense. Was it frustrating to get back on the field because you were backed up a bunch?
Well, I mean, well, like you and I said, in earlier weeks, we have put drives together, 80-yard, 90-yard drives, right? So we can't be happy when we do that weeks before, and then all of a sudden,
and then
so no, we're used to that, but it's frustrating as a coach, because every punt don't have to be inside of the 10, man. Come on, cut the slack here. That's what special teams units is about. It's all about putting offensive guys in there deep into the territory, make them go the whole field. But when you have penalties here and there, and you're trying to make things right, we had a fumble in there. We can't do that. You can't do that. It's conference time. We got to be playing as clean as possible in order for us to be successful.
Yeah. Let's talk some positives real quick. The 90-yard touchdown pass to get you guys in within 2 points, and then the 2-point conversion. What's going through your head on the sideline when that ball connected? Well, who caught it? Was it
Jaden Boyd? Just a great ball by Brady Robinson. That's one of the few times we had a real clean pocket where he can step up, and I think he actually moved out of the pocket just a little bit, if I remember correctly, to be able to get the ball down the field. Such a strong arm, put it right there on the money. Jaden was where it was supposed to be, and the extra effort to run it like he did. I mean, and then we actually had somebody running down the field trying to block for him. I can't remember what receiver that was, but
you're right, because there was a big block at the 20 that got him in.
Yeah, it was somebody that was running down the field trying to, help blocking and all that good stuff. So that was a big time play because this is right after they got the block punt that went for 6. And so now we're like, man, we got to put something together. And just to have that play come, and then obviously the 2-point conversion, that was everything to make it 14 all.
Right. I was going to say that 90-yard touchdown catch and run means nothing if Joel Hayes doesn't catch that 2-point conversion. Talk to me about that play. Was that drawn up, or was that something that you said?
Well, it's a little bit of both. I mean, it was the play call that we had at that particular time, where we had Joel lined up at, and he just kind of slipped through the cracks. Brady knew exactly where to go with the ball in that manner. He just put the ball where it needed to be, and Joel Hayes ended up catching it. So that was a big time, because obviously we need that, because we don't go in overtime if we don't get that 2-point conversion.
Right. It was one of those the 2-point conversion, like name a good quarterback. It reminded me of it. He threw it and turned away right to the bench. He knew it immediately that it was going to cash in. Yeah. It was like a vintage 2-point. I always think of the Lamar Jackson one where he puts his hand like that after he throws it. It reminded me just like that.
You know it's there, and that's just from weeks of not weeks. I apologize. Within the game plan, knowing how they're gonna play you within the 10-yard line, and hey, let's call this up and let's be able to see if he can slip through. And like I said, Joel and Brady have been doing a fantastic job of just being on one accord, and he was able to get him the football.
Yeah. And then let's talk about the defense because they certainly deserve it. We'll start with the interception before the halftime break to keep them off the scoreboard and keep it 7-0. I believe it was Samaj Galloway, if I'm not mistaken, who made that pick.
Yes, that interception was Samaj Galloway. And that's just, he stretched out to go get that too.
Yeah.
The defender, the offensive guy was somewhere in the vicinity, and he just stretched out and just went to go get it, man. That's just great concentration by him. And Samaj is being a great player for us, a two-way player this year.
Yeah,
he's doing a good job. We needed that interception as well because they was gaining some momentum. I think they was near getting close to the 20, inside of the 20. So we needed to get off the field ASAP. And we just needed that big time interception by Samaj Galloway. Yeah, and the whole defensive unit, they did a good job. Even second half, I think they didn't give up. I can't remember, over 20 something. It's just they played lights out.
Yeah, defense was really good for you guys, and let's stick on that trend of defense. Talk about big interception at the end of the first half, a huge interception at the start of the second half, the pick six to get you guys on the board.
Shout out to Garrett Wilson. He ran out, seen a receiver. And that was his guy that he was supposed to be covering. He ran over there and broke the ball. It was a little fight for the ball. If you go back and look at the film, it was like they both met at the same time.
Yeah.
Big time players make big time plays and big time moments. And Garrett Wilson was able to capitalize and get that interception. And that boy was running.
Yes, he
was.
was.
I can't believe he scored, man, because he's not that fast. He's not that fast, but I was so proud of him getting that interception and actually scoring. That's everything, man. I'm proud of Garrett.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable pick. I can't wait to talk to him in a second now, knowing that he's the guy who blocked the kick at the end of regulation too. But it was like you said, he got him and the running back or the receiver get there at the same time. He picked it off, and then like you said, I was shocked he scored because I'm shocked he didn't fall down. There was so much contact.
Yeah, it was a lot of contact, but that's my boy Garrett, man. He knew, hey, man, like I said, we needed somebody to make a play. I told him that before half, and I didn't expect it to be that early. I was expecting really on the offensive side, but for the defense to be able to come out and get that interception, that pick six, and that was everything. And of course, we didn't get the extra point, but I was just proud that we actually got that pick six by Garrett.
Yeah, and then let's talk about that end of regulation, the block kick by Garrett. What's going through your head when that thing hits the grass? No good.
Like I said, I needed that because I was kicking myself and I was talking to the offensive coaches that we really, really and truthfully, the defense shouldn't have even went back on the field if I'm just being honest. I think at that point in time, it was like 2 minutes. Now, again, anytime in coaching, you can never be right or wrong. Yeah, you get what I mean? Like, it's just really just a gut feeling.
Right.
And the reason why I say that, in that moment, we as a staff wanted to continue being aggressive, and we did just that. However, we didn't gain much from being aggressive, and we had to punt the ball. And I didn't want to punt the ball again. And when I punted the ball, it was like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and then it hit me like, fellas, what did we just do? Let's not forget, they got a kicker that's kicking for like 30 to 40 yards.
Yeah.
And so I was sick to my stomach because I knew in that moment, I kind of let us be aggressive and see if we can do something offensively because, they're on their heels. It's 14-14. Man, let's put the ball in the hands of, and let's see if we can just make things happen. And it didn't work out that way. So we had to punt, and their offense had to go back on the field. So I was literally sick to my stomach because as the clock was winding down, they sent their field goal kicker out there. And all I kept saying over the headset, this is on me. Because, again, we shouldn't even – we was back to – I just didn't like the fact that we put their offense back on the field. And knowing that they have the field goal kicker they have is what I'm trying to say. If they probably didn't have that field goal kicker, I'm okay with us being aggressive, punting and playing defense. But they have a kicker. They have a kicker now. And so if he's anywhere in his distance, he's going to make it. And luckily we got a push. And Garrett Wilson, when we watch film, it's like a little fingertip. He got it on there and was able to block that. And so we needed that.
Yeah. Well, that's the special teams making a very special play. So that's something that you preach. Coach Green, thanks for joining us in this first segment. Who do we want to go to first? Two good guests today.
Let's go with Garrett, and then I want to finish off with my brother Melvin Heggie.
That works for me. Let's bring in Garrett Wilson, probably the defensive and special teams MVP of the game last week. Garrett, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right. Doing all right. First and foremost, glad to have you on the show. How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. It's exciting to be on here.
Yeah. First time you're on for this year. I don't know if you were on last year or not, but good to have you today. And again, it must be a little weird going to the school when coach just said you guys didn't have school today, but I'm sure you had a good practice, I hope.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice. Just talk to me coming off of an overtime loss, going into another team's building on their homecoming. What were the emotions like heading into that game for you on the defensive side of the ball?
It was definitely high. You know, it's a conference game. You want to keep your undefeated conference record, and it's their homecoming. You want to try and ruin their night.
Yeah.
Didn't go that way, but I was proud of my teammates. We kept going to the end, and we just kept fighting.
Yeah, and that resiliency, it's something that me and the head coach just talked about. We'll talk about it here in a moment, but let's waste no more time. I tried to kind of pigeonhole a little bit, but talk to me about that interception. I mean, that was maybe one of the most athletic plays I've seen a linebacker make in high school, nonetheless, that in my time calling this sport. What was going through your head? Talk to me about that play.
Well, you know, our coaches, they do a great job of getting us ready, and, you know, our scout team does a great job, and we knew that was coming. We knew when it was that receiver lined up there what route was coming, and he wanted it. And the quarterback wanted to throw it there.
Yeah.
Saw him come in motion. I knew it was coming, and just a great job by our coaches being able to get us ready and know when something's coming like that.
Yeah. And then talk to me about you on that play, being able to jump the route. Obviously, knowing it is half the battle, but then to physically execute it is another level. What was going? You see it, you line up, you're like, ooh, I know it's coming, and then you jump the route. How exciting was that for you?
It was real exciting. You know, earlier in the game, I tipped a pass, wasn't really able to get there, so it was exciting to get that back and obviously return it for the touchdown and start off the scoring.
Yeah. And then talk to me about that touchdown rumble. You just heard the head coach say you're not the fastest guy in the world, but that was a pretty good 20-yard dash. And again, with all the physicality, it's amazing you stayed on your feet to get there. When you were running, what was in the back of your mind? Were you thinking, I got to get to the end zone, or were you content with the pick?
I knew I had to get there. I looked to my left and I saw someone coming to try and tackle me, but my teammate, Josh Bellamy, he was able to block him, keep him off, and able to get in the end zone.
Nice. And that just buys into the band of brothers that we talk about week in and week out with you guys. Really well-knit group. We've had a lot of offensive guests recently, but defensive unit in the last handful of weeks. You had the donut party against Atkins a week ago. You get the really good defensive production, although it turns into a loss on the win-loss column. But you guys balled out on Friday night. How good did that feel?
It felt great, you know, but obviously you want the win.
Yeah.
I was proud of my teammates, proud of my guys that we were able to execute how we did and hold them as much as we did.
Yeah.
Hold them off as much as we did.
Yeah. And then talk to me about that block kick. I wasn't aware that it was you in real time. I didn't know that you were the one who got there to block it, but going back in film, seeing that you got a hand in there, obviously you knew in the moment when it hit your hand, just being able to get up and rejoice that, hey, we're going overtime. We're still in this thing.
Yeah, I felt good being able to keep us in it. My two D linemen next to me, they were able to open that hole up real well and able me to get in there. Just when we have those moments, we got to make sure we finish.
Yeah. Let's talk about that block kick a little bit more. You said your two D linemen next to you allowed you to get through. Special teams is obviously something you practice for the kicking unit in practice. But in terms of maybe blocking the kick and getting defensive reps in special teams, is that something you guys also practice too?
Yes, sir, it is. Our coach, our defense coordinator, Coach Alexander, he makes sure that we have a good game plan for special teams. You know, are they left leg, right leg? Which side are we blocking from? Who's taking which gap?
And it paid off, and it certainly paid off. Coach just said at halftime, he turned to you guys and said, we need somebody to go make a play. At halftime, it's 7-0, but again, we just talked about it. You had that pick from Samaj Galloway that got you there, only 7-0. At that point, what's going through your head at halftime? You know, it felt like you guys were winning that game in terms of momentum, but on the scoreboard, it was a different story. How did you rally the troops on defense to say, guys, let's just keep doing what we're doing?
Yeah, I just gotta encourage them keep encouraging them because we were having a good game.
Yeah.
We were making sure that everyone's taking their gap. Everyone did their 111, their assignment. So it's really just keeping them encouraged and hyped up that we're going to go out and we're going to finish the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about your football background a little bit. In that linebacker position, is that where you've always been playing on the field, or you start somewhere else?
It has been in high school. I started playing in 8th grade, and I was playing D-line.
Nice.
I was a little small, so I wanted to stay on defense, but no, I couldn't do it there.
So you were always a defensive-minded guy?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Did you look up to anybody? Because you said you started on the D-line, but was there anyone in particular, maybe in college or the NFL, you looked up to say, I want to be like him?
A big one was Von Miller, being
Nice.
a Broncos fan. And
Nice.
And in the Super Bowl too, watching him play so well, just wanted to be like him.
Yeah, that's a good role model to have. Good role model to have, indeed. And then playing with this unit on the Glen Bobcats, I talked about it earlier. We talk about it week in and week out. It's a real good unit. Obviously, every football team buys into that all for one for all mentality, but not every football team puts it on display like the Bobcats do week in and week out. Talk to me about playing for a program like this.
It's great. Everyone's really serious and involved about it. Our coaches, they have a lot of passion for it. Our players, we all have a lot of passion. And it's just great playing for a team that really wants it and playing together.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the head coach talks about all the time, it's always 11 hats to the football. It's always when you're on defense, flying around, never playing on your heels, always anticipating and being ready for that play. And you're someone who buys into that a ton. Through 7 games, 64 total tackles, good enough for second on the team, only behind Isaiah Buford, who I'm sure having him in your linebacker backfield, we'll call it, is something special. What do you learn from him?
There's a lot to learn from him because he's a great player. He's got great instincts and stuff. So and his energy, being able to build off his energy like throughout the game, making big plays, and the whole defense being able to build off that.
Yeah.
He's a great leader.
I was going to say, you can totally see it. I mean, we talk about leaders. There's like 2 different types of leaders, right? There's the guys who lead on the field, and then there's the guys who vocally lead. And it seems like from what I've watched, Isaiah Buford's the guy who leads on the field. Is he or is somebody else the guy who leads in the locker room, getting you guys hyped up?
In the locker room getting us hyped up, it might be one of the D linemen. They can get pretty up there. A D lineman or a DB, they can get, how DBs are. They can get real excited.
Oh, yeah.
And then linemen just get in that mindset.
Nice. Nice. Well, I know it's senior day coming up for you guys in what I believe is your last home game at the Water Tower. Being a senior for this team, what's the goal this week? Obviously, you want to go out there and win, but do you have any personal goals for your final home game as a high school senior?
Just to show out, put on a good show for the crowd. Try and get another donut party. That's the biggest thing.
By the way, that is by far the coolest thing I've ever heard a shutout called, and it was introduced to me this year. So hats off to you guys, and let's hope you get that donut party and make it a happy senior day. Garrett, thank you so much for taking the time this evening.
Thanks for having me on.
Of course, anytime. Garrett Wilson, the linebacker, just joined us, had a pick, 6, and a blocked field goal in that game against North Davidson. Let's bring in the head coach of the women's varsity basketball team at Glen High School. Melvin Heggie joins us next on Bobcats Live. Coach, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Thanks so much for joining us here on Bobcats Live. And let's just talk about some women's hoops, shall we?
Absolutely.
So in prep for talking to you, Coach Green said that you're a well-known guy here in the Kernersville area. Just tell me a little bit about your story as a head coach and your time here in the tryout.
Well, I started coaching back in 2008. My first job, I was an assistant women's basketball coach at Smith High School. Did 3 years at Smith. Then I went over to join the women's basketball staff at Dudley High School. stayed at Dudley for 3 years. And then in 2013, 2014, I became the head women's basketball coach here at Glenn. So I was here at Glenn from 2013 to 2020. Had an amazing run during that time. Then I pursued another job. I took over the program at Quality Education Academy here in Winston-Salem, QEA. I had a successful 4-year run there at QEA, and last year I took over the program at Carver High School, and we had a really good season, an amazing turnaround for that program at Carver, and the opportunity brought itself out to be able to kind of return here to Glenn and with what I call my home. So I took that opportunity, and now I'm back. I'm here.
Now you're back. And I'm sure the Bobcats are thrilled to have you back. I mean, just in that little synopsis, 3 years here, 3 years there, all of a sudden 7 years at Glenn. Why did this place feel like home?
Well, it was my first head coaching opportunity. The first two, of course, I was assistants and or JV coach, assistant at Smith High School, JV coach, and varsity assistant at Dudley High School. Joe McCormick, AD here at Glenn, saw fit to give a young, unexperienced coach an opportunity to run his own program, and got here, like I said, 2013. Got invested in the community, got invested in the school. Was able to turn the program around, and we were able to build into one of the best programs in the state during that tenure from 2017 to 2020. And it became home, man. The people were good to me. Like I said, the community was good to me. We had a lot of success here.
Yeah. And then just talk to me. You said assistant here, JV head there. What did that experience teach you? Because you said the AD at Glenn kind of took a chance on someone with no experience, but to me, hearing you do all that assistant work, I'm sure it had to translate to something.
Well, yeah, when I say no experience, there in this day and age, when you were looking to hire a head coach, you're usually looking to hire someone with head coaching experience. Like I said, I worked at Ben L. Smith, where I was assistant with Ashton Jeffries and Will Perry. Will Perry is actually the former head coach at Southern Guilford, now the head AD at Southern Guilford on the men's side. So we worked together. Then I left and took the JV head job at Dudley High School with Frank McNeil, and Frank McNeil's still at Dudley. All valuable experiences for me. Got a chance. Those men gave me a chance to do a lot of work, run the weight program, do a lot of training. And it was during that age, I just wanted to try to be in the gym as much as I could. And the Glenn job was something that kind of just popped up. I can't even remember did I even apply for it. I think Joe got a referral from, I want to say, one of my AAU parents whose daughter was playing at Glenn at the time. Nice. He called me, asked me, did I want to interview? I came in and interviewed, man, and did well. And he offered me the opportunity. And my father, he told me, he said, well, if not now, then when? And I come to the belief, man, when you take over a head coaching job, you're never ready, but you can be as prepared as you can be. And I felt like I was prepared through those experiences.
That sounds awesome to me. That's really cool. And then just talk to me. You said time away from Glenn in the last 4-ish years. What's the biggest thing you've learned in that time away from this program that you're hoping to bring and start anew, but also pick up where you left off with the Bobcats?
I got a chance to kind of work with some different people, man, to kind of broaden my vision for the program a little bit. One of the most kind of the thing that was the most valuable to me was during my 4 years at Quality Education Academy. I got a chance to work alongside Andre Gould, who was of course, longtime championship head coach at Winston-Salem Prep. And I was the women's coach. He was the men's coach at Quality Education. So getting a chance to work beside someone who has had that much success and seeing how they work every day, seeing how his staff worked, learning a little bit more about delegating and the opportunities that he was able to kind of help provide for his players. That was valuable knowledge for me. Became really good friends with Coach Gould. Also, a lot of the guys on his staff. Also, too, like I said, did last year at Carver. That was a really, really good experience in a really good community that has a lot of pride for their women's program. I was able to work alongside another really good friend of mine, Coach Kenneth Ferguson, who we used to coach together at Dudley High School. He was an assistant there while I was the JV head coach. So through this journey, I got a chance to kind of pick the brain and see into the programs of a lot of good head coaches with a lot of experience, get different ideas, see different points of view. So it allowed me, like I said before, to kind of broaden my vision for what I would like this program to be, even more so than what we were able to accomplish when I was here before.
Yeah. Just talk to me about that 7-year run. What were you able to accomplish? Any conference championships, anything like that you should want to talk about?
Yeah. So in that 7 years, man, we like I said, when I took over the program, it was a little stagnant, but came into a class, 2016 class, who were all sophomores, and it was I think it was 8 of them. And so, man, I was able to kind of get to work with those kids over that 3-year span, and we ended up making it to the Mary Garber Championship, which was the first time that Glenn had done it in years. Wow. We won the Sheets Holiday Tournament. We finished second in the conference, and this is back when we were in the conference with Northwest Guilford, when they were powers, and Southwest Guilford, when they were really, really running well on the women's side. And then we had a stretch where we won the conference, the CPC, twice. We won the Mary Garber. So, I mean, we were able to, when it comes to high school women's basketball in this area, we were able to accomplish some really big things. Yeah. We had about 7 to 8 young ladies to all go play college basketball off of the 2019 and 2020 team. So, I mean, like I said, we were able to accomplish a bunch of things that were value for us here.
It sounds it, and I'm sure you're ready to hit the ground running this season. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this. There's like 2 or 3 weeks before you guys pick it up again and actually start playing games. How excited is this team? How ready is this team getting set and back on action?
It's gonna look a lot different. We're super excited. Got a good amount of returners coming back that are working hard. We got a few new additions that are gonna help greatly. The girls, we've been in the gym working hard here for the last month and a half, almost 2 months. A lot of consistency and a lot of growth. So we are absolutely excited to kind of get on the court and show the product that we're going to put together.
Yeah, I mean, like we talk about it, it can feel like a long off season, especially for basketball and football, these physically and mentally very challenging sports to prepare for. And I know that when we'll talk about the players first, when they get to lace up the cleats and actually go and show it off, like you said, it just feels so rewarding.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, again, man, at this point right now, we're competing against ourselves or competing against your own standard. Weight room time is grueling. Track workouts are grueling. So I know at this point in time, the girls they're itching to go get a chance to compete and show off a little bit of what they've worked on this summer. Like I said, of course, in this day and age, when it comes to basketball, man, it's more of a year-round sport than it's ever been. So they're playing AAU, they're playing summer leagues and fall leagues and stuff like that. But you're just getting a chance to watch them work on a daily basis. It makes me excited because I see the hard work that's being put in.
I was going to say it would be wrong of me not to ask how excited you are to be back here with the Bobcats and see all that hard work your team put in this offseason get back out there on the floor come November.
Oh, I'm super excited, man. This, like I said, I've been at a bunch of stops, a bunch of great stops as a coach, but this is the one that I consider home. I live in this community. Like I said, been in this community for 7 years prior. Accomplished things, man. I got a chance to get back over here with A lot of my good coaching friends, Coach Green for one, Coach Alexander, those are my guys, man. So when you get a chance to come back and be around people that you know, that you grinded with, that you work with, man, it makes you super excited. Like I said, Joe McCormick, our AD here, he was the first to give me a head coaching opportunity. So when the opportunity to come back to Glenn came up and we talked about it, it was a little bit of a no-brainer. So like I said, man, and having the girls in the gym the past few weeks, trying to work and take care of the small business, man. I'm super excited to see what we put on the court, man. See how they've grown. The last couple years have been a little down for the Lady Cats here, but we are working hard and we're excited, man, that we're gonna kind of turn some heads this year and turn some things around.
Well, best of luck to you, Coach. Congrats on being back here where you call home, and best of luck on the season, of course.
I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it, Max. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, Coach. That's the head coach of the varsity women's hoops over at Glenn. Coach Heggie, thank you for spending a couple moments on Tuesday evening. Let's bring back in head coach of the varsity football team, Tommy Green, joins us for the final segment.
Yeah, he's definitely Coach Heggie is a mentor of mine. So even when he's not here, we're constantly communicating. He's a guy that I can call, and he's just helping me help me develop so much as a coach. He played a big part of that in my young career. And as far as Garrett Wilson, as I said, he's another guy with a high GPA over a 4.0. He will have college aspirations. I got a text message today about trying to get him on campus at a school very soon. So that's always good things. It's starting to come together for Garrett. He did miss his junior season. And so I'm just excited to actually have him be able to play a full year thus far. And he's doing a great job.
Yeah. Let's stick on that for 1 second before we talk about this upcoming week. Obviously, the season, there's 3 more weeks left in the regular season. And like you said, it's around that time, and even before this, but it's around that time where colleges start to tap you about, hey, can we have this guy on for a campus visit?
Correct.
How do you kind of keep your players in the headspace that, listen, it's great, and again, it's awesome to see your players go out there and get all this recognition.
Right.
But at the same time, there's still a job to be done on this field right now.
And our guys, not the single guys, but Brady Robinson, Isaiah been to 1 or 2. I think Joe already had a visit this season. It's just the maturity of your student athletes. Yeah. They understand the task at hand. So they understand that they are, it's like they're building their resume, if you were to speak, but they are so focused and locked in on the assignment of just being the best Bobcat football player they can be Monday through Friday, that they are putting themselves in positions on Saturdays to take these visits. And so that's just kudos to them, just being able to, what I call compartmentalize, not call, but, fancy word, just being able to separate everything and just take it section by section. That's just part of their growth and maturity. Yeah. Yeah.
And it again, and everybody we've had on this show just seems a college freshman.
Right.
But just say that, then do that. But again, everyone we've had on this show has been so great about that. And that's a kudos to you and your program, Coach, of course.
Yeah. Student athlete.
Yeah. Let's talk about this upcoming week, North Forsyth on the schedule, and it's senior day. How important is that for your guys?
It's important for us to, we want to go 1-0 at the end of the week to keep our just get things going again. You want to be 1-0 at the end of the week, and it is senior night. Even if we're fortunate and blessed to take care of business for the remainder of the season, you're right. You probably will never get an opportunity to play again at Bobcat Land. I'm not sure. But maybe something may go our way as far as a possibility. So for the seniors, they got to try their best, and the underclassmen, we got to try our best to let our seniors go out on top. And you just want to be able to, just keep pushing and just be 1-0 at the end of the week.
Yeah. And I know your big mojo is it doesn't matter who you're playing, But let's talk about North Forsyth. It's a team that's kind of struggled here in the last few weeks, 0-2 in conference play. But I know just in talking to you for the last 5 weeks, that doesn't change the game plan or what you're going to bring to the table. Like you said, it's all about going 1-0 this week. But what specifically are you trying to attack from North Forsyth this week?
Now, for us, it's just about we need to attack ourselves. I want us to play as clean as possible. Let's capitalize off the things that I said we need to capitalize off of last week. As I say time and time, in order for us to be where we want to be, we got to be the best versions of ourselves. We got to be the best version of the Glenn Bobcats. So it's not even necessarily about attacking North Forsyth. It's about us being the best version of Glenn Bobcat football. And if we can do that, physical, hard-nosed, blue-collar football, being able to play mistake-free, execute, do your 111, all the things that we speak about the whole year, we're going to be just fine. I can live with any result, and I mean this. I can live with any result if my team played to their best ability. I promise. Win, lose, or draw, I would not be disappointed. However, you become disappointed when you don't play your best brand of football, when you do have a couple mistakes, when you do, leave plays out there. So if we could play our best brand of football and execute, that's our word. And then do your job, do your 111. It's never about the opponent. It's Glenn versus Glenn. And so that's just our mentality.
Yeah, the alignment assignment, obviously a huge deal. Let's round out with this. Let's stay on the theme of senior day. Obviously, like you said, unless some things go your way, it's probably the last time they're playing at home at the Water Tower. We'll talk about the crowd in a little bit here, but how you said it's so important to compartmentalize and just take things into sections. How does your team not let the emotion of this game being the last one get in the way of the product on the field?
Yeah, just take everything in. I mean, it's okay to take a pause and, as they say, smell the air, look into the crowd. Take all that in. It's all part of the atmosphere. It's all a part of the process of you being able to dissect everything. Have your moment to yourself, right? And then take a couple deep breaths and then tap back in. And so I think a lot of times when you try to rush over the situation and the emotions just build up, and now you're itchy and now you're kind of doing uncharacteristic things. The biggest thing is just for the kids to understand and just settle down, take everything in. You're gonna be there with your family pregame. They're on the field, all your loved ones, maybe some former coaches, some teachers, maybe some childhood friends. They're all gonna be there to see you play football. Take all that in. That's a part of it. You deserve that. But once we get back there behind it, I give my little spew at 6:50 or 6:55, whatever time it is, it's time for you to clock back in. So it's all about being able, like we said, compartmentalize everything, separate it, take it in, fully embrace it. Okay, now zip those helmets up, bite down on that chin, bite down on that mouthpiece, and let's get active.
Yeah, and I feel like if the really good players who can do that, who can separate emotion from the game, who can step back and breathe that air, that almost leads to a better game on the field, does it not?
Yes, sir. It does. It does. Because, it's no different than playing some type of rivalry. Everybody gets so worked up, especially with kids, unfortunately, with social media. And they all live in the same neighborhood and they talk to one another. Now you're playing with emotions instead of passion. It's a difference between playing emotionally and playing with passion. When you play with emotions, everything is uncontrollable. You don't have, you're not focused on the assignment. When you play with passion, you just play with a certain grit within the lines and you understand the assignment. And so you just got to be able to be a passionate young individual and just be ready to play football. Just take it in, take it play by play, take a deep breath. Once the ball is kicked off, the whistle blowing, hey, just play football.
Just play football. That's what you guys are going to do on Friday. North Forsyth comes to town. It is senior day at the Water Tower. For Coach Green, for everyone that joined us on today's show, I'm Max Wallace signing off for now. Thanks so much for tuning in to this edition of Bobcats Live. And we'll see you on Friday night when North Forsyth rolls in at 7 p.m.
Go Bobcats. Thanks, Max.
Yep, no worries, Coach. I'm just going to give Des a text here real quick.
All right.
But I think you are all good. I will see you on Friday.
See you Friday night on the sideline, my boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to talk to you as always.
All right.